All right, hello everyone. So welcome to Monday. Let's take a look at gold, euro dollar, SP 500, Dow Jones, Nasdaq, and Bitcoin. Now, guys, I've put these in yesterday. Okay, well, I've just added a link here as well. So just go over this again. Despite the fact that I put it in there yesterday, I just made a few spelling checks as well. Also added a little note here as well, and also I've put a link here because there are several new people in there in the club. This is how you can use this tool to kind of like measure your time zone. All right, now also this week we've got news, so make sure you're on top of your news, because as you know, I'm also giving pre-news setups where it's pretty profitable doing your setup before the news and then just following it through. Or even if you don't trade the news, which is logical too, you can follow it through because you've got the setup before. So let's put these down. Let's take a look. Now I've already posted the Astro hours here. Let's just do this. I just need to put this, was it 5:45? Let me just double check so we're on top of our game. Correct, it should be 5:55 here. Okay, so let me just amend that into 5:55. All right, now this is a bit tricky here, so you got to be careful here. This should take us into 7:45. okay, now, and 7:45 is a bit tricky because here the market can continue, which I think it will. Will it continue up or down? Well, if it starts to turn, then we should continue down. If it's down but wants to go up, we should continue up. Now remember, the swing day for gold, I've posted it as you can see, is in the middle of the week. So what we can do is just follow this through as well. If the market starts to move, it should take us to 10 o'clock. Okay, so if it does continue, it's got room to go into 10 o'clock, and it might have some pushy moves as well. Okay, so pushy moves which might take us all the way into 10:35 and even closing. All right, because the market has got some closing hours aspects which could push. Okay, but the important hour to look out for here is going to be this 10:30 zone, and this is where you should do your trade management. Okay, if the market pushes up a little bit more and breaks upwards or downwards depending on where you are and what asset you're trading, then obviously that's going to be important as well. All right, so that's that. Okay, now remember also last week, as you know, with gold, Friday was a swing day. Okay, so from last week, so if you want to follow that, also last week I did say Thursday is going to be a big day, so be careful. If you took that Thursday big push up, great. And then Friday was a swing day, that was a swing hour, that was a PST price, as you know. Astro hour, market flopping down, coming all the way into the closing. All right, so if you want to follow through that as well, maybe we'll have a few up days taking us into that midweek where the market will sell off again. The PST weekly price is 2,315. So this is the buy zone. Now note here, we've got a possible breakdown and a possible fake breakout to the upside. Remember, the red is the resistance, the blue is the support. So if the market breaks down below 2,315, we could have more push going downwards. If this channel breaks, we should find ourselves down here. All right, so even lower, maybe closing the gap and so on. So at the end of the day, we have to be a bit more careful. If the market wishes to follow through this buy level on the weekly, it's not a bad spot. On the daily, as you can see here, okay, let's do this. Okay, let me now get rid of this stuff because there's too many lines. Okay, so let's get rid of all of this. As you know, these are swing days, so if you've been trading them, you should be okay. So let's take a look at it nice and clean and get rid of that too. Okay, so impulse wave, this could be like a channel up, as you can see, or a flag formation. This is why the market has also room to sell off, and if it does sell off, we should be coming down all the way back into this zone. Okay, and that's how it is. So on an up move, to sell is also not a bad idea. On the daily, where can you sell? As you can see, we're there at the moment, and the market can pretty much sell at 2,324, which is right there. Okay, so that's the first spot. This is the second range, and this is where the gap closes. Now, because this is a big engulfing, as you can see, the market has the potential to push down. The other level is that 50 zone, which is 2,335, which is right there. So if we come up a little bit, I don't mind selling off here either. It's not a bad spot for the market. As you can see, this is where the breakout kind of happened, so the market's got potential to sell off in this zone. Okay, and that's basically it. So be mindful that this downwards bearish move, engulfing everything, a bit of a pull up and then sell off is logical. Okay, if you want to draw your lines, you can, as usual. That's that. In fact, a little higher on there. So that's how it's looking. Okay, and we just take the tip. There we are. All right, so bottom, bottom, top, top. So the market kind of heading down. If we break below this, then we've got room to come down. Let me just get rid of that target there so we don't have too many blue lines or white lines either. So once it pushes down, if it breaks down, we should go. So selling is on the cards, definitely. Okay, from the highs from up here, I don't mind selling. If you want to wait for the sell, then you might want to wait for 12 to 1 o'clock period, which is here. Okay, and if the market does push up from here, which is likely, the market will go up. It should push until about 9:30, I'm thinking. Okay, 9:30. So just mark that 9:30 there. Okay. And this is also going to be a zone where the market will be in adjustment. So if it does push, it should push into that 9:30 to get up in there. And then if it mucks around here, then between 1 and 2, wait a minute, between 12 and 1, sorry, between 12 and 1, if we're up here somewhere selling, I don't think is a bad idea at all. All right, that's that. Let's take a look at euro dollar. Now with the euro dollar as well, this is the weekly. Okay, remember this. Now our long-term perspective, as you know, is down. All right, so there's no real drama here. 41 1.0688, 1.0688 is your, which is here pretty much. Okay, this is your support on the weekly. Let's just refresh. Okay, as you can see, the market's just going down sideways, so we should be just pushing down. Let me get rid of these to see where we're at. That level is new. So if with the euro dollar on the daily, as you can see, we're in a bit of a squeeze here. So that resistance is 36. That is 1.0696. If the market breaks above the weekly pivot, then we have potential to go up. On the weekly, as you can see, like it's downwards, and down is what we should be expecting. Our overall perspective, as you know, is to come down here. All right, now this is a triangle, as you can see, so pushing down into this zone I think is good. If it does, then we'll be looking to go back up again from this zone. All right, so in the interim, though, what you want to be doing is selling, and on the weekly, where that target could be your HCL1 1.0579, and that's quite a bit further down, 1.0579 there, as you can see. All right, so like I said, on the daily, if it breaks above this, do not stand in front of it trying to sell it. We have to re-evaluate it, okay? And then going up may be the way to go. Now, with the euro dollar, as you know, Monday is a swing day, all right? So buying the low is not a bad idea either. And that 32 is 1.0669. 1.06690669 is there. All right, so the market dipping down into here, 0669, sweeping stops from last week, and then at an astro hour going up is also not a bad idea. All right, so you might want to be on top of that as well. The time for that might be, like I said, between 12 and 1 might be a better idea. Just take a look at this one as well. Also, if you're going to trade this, I'm just checking for another good time for you. Yes, 7 o'clock. All right, so that initial 6:30 might not be a bad opportunity for this as well. 6:30 there. All right, so this might be a level where the market might push up, but you just have to be careful for this one. This is a perfect like spot where the market likes to come, dip down, take out the stops, and so on. If the market starts to break upwards, that's also fine. Like I said, it's a swing day, so markets being down, going up may be the way to go. And then your targeting will be 0770, which is all the way up there. All right, so that might even take out the high there, 0770. All right, and that could also take out the stops and then push down as well. So it's a bit tricky, okay, because it could go both ways, but I don't think going up on a swing day is a bad idea at all, considering, okay, the market's been downwards. All right, so if it breaks below the PST level, if it comes back in quickly, there's a chance to keep pushing up, okay? But if it breaks down and sticks around here, and that is not very, like enthusiastic about going back up above the low of Friday, then don't muck around, okay? Because then it's probably going to be trending downwards, okay? Let's take a look at SP500. Here's SP500. Now remember last week and the week before, this was a bit tricky, as you can see, and we had tricky days here and here as well. But overall, market, I think, is about to start to retrace. Why? You can see we've got a big divergence there as well. Okay, so this divergence is there. So the market pushing down is logical. Okay, if you want to sell this, because today is a swing day for all the indices. All right, so what can we do? If the market pushes up, I think selling is not a bad idea. A good buy kiss at 75 is 5,500. 5,500. Well, that's all the way up here. It's not too far out. But I don't think selling here is a bad idea, because this is also where that order block is, where the sell-off happened. Okay, so if you want to sell in this zone, I think it's fine to do so as well. This is the daily and the weekly. So if the market goes up a little bit, goes into there, and then sells off, I think it's okay to do so. Okay. On the weekly as well, selling the highs and pushing all the way into that 66, which is 5,382 all week. It's not a bad idea. 5,382. Let's mark that in. Also on the daily, look, 59, 5434, 5428, 5417. These are all targets. Okay, so if I was to do let's do 5434, 5434 is going to be there. 5434. Right, so we've got room to come down. 28 is here. 17 is going to be there. Okay, and also on the weekly, if we keep pushing down, then 66, 5382. All right, it's a bit down there, but I'll put it in there. Okay, it's a bit down there, but we'll put it in there. Why? Because if it keeps pushing, it will get there. All right, so we'll keep it on the cards, as you can see here. All right, so if the market has already been selling in Asia, as you can see, and this is the low of Friday, the low of last week is down here. So retesting those, I think, is okay. So if we pull up a little bit, I think selling is not a bad idea at all with this one. Okay. And that's basically it. How far should the sell-off be? If you're trading indices, you'll have to make a little adjustment here. Okay. So let me just double check how we can do that. Are we going to do that, or are we going to do that? And looks like that's it. Okay, so I've got a bottom, bottom, top, top. So selling down is not a bad idea. If you've learned technical analysis from me, you can just do your range here. Just take the range. Okay. Because some of you use ATAM, some of you don't, which is fine. Either way is fine. Okay, just do that and just target it out. Okay, so this is how you can target that, and that's going to be from there to there. And that's your zone. Alright, so the market should get into this zone. I'll just get rid of these. So that's there. And then our targeting is obviously going to be price specific in there. So 5434.28. Okay, 5434, which is there. 28 is there. So we should go lower. All right, so we'll probably go lower into the 5418, which should be 5418, which should come to that top line there. Okay, so even lower. So we're probably going to hit that weekly sooner or later. Might not be this week, might be next week, but so 5382 I would keep on the radar, which is right there. Okay, so we should hit this thing in the middle zone. All right, because it's the weekly, it's a bit far out, but not a problem. Also, if you're using your PST indicator, you can draw bottom to bottom and keep an eye on your PST that way. Okay, wherever it touches that line and the blue line, that will also be your reversal point. Okay, so you can get in there for a quick buy and so on. Also, bottom to bottom is also good. That's your 40 zone there. All right, so let's take a look at Dow Jones, Nasdaq, Bitcoin. Now, with all the indices, because we've got the same days for swing days, which is fine, we can just play that along. Rightio. Okay, so that's nice up here, selling off. Now there's a bit of a gap here as well, as you can see. The first support on the weekly, oh look, that's the resistance there. So impulse wave, flag formation, resistance on the weekly is a LCL1 39,369, 39,369 is there. All right, will it get up there? If it does, you're going to sell it swing hours. All right, and that's the first spot there. As you can see, we've got even highs here, so the market breaking out, pulling back in, not a bad idea. On the daily, what's that? 67 is going to be far out. 39,428, 458. 428 is there. 458. 458 is going to be there. Okay, so we've got two zones there, which the market may hit, but want to sell if they do because of the weekly there. That's not a bad spot at all. 62 is 39,777, which is all the way up there, which is way up there. If it gets there, you should definitely sell. 39,777. Okay, it's a bit far out because today's a swing day and we're at the highs, so selling any level including a stop sweep is okay. On the monthly, let me just double check where we're at. The support is 59, 38,411, 38,411 is way down there. Daily support 55.52, 39,047, 39,047. So that is, whoopsie daisy. So that's your support, which is fine, just underneath the low of Friday, which is also fine. And this 52 is 38,959. 38,959, which is your weekly pivot there. All right, so both of these levels are on the cards and the market can buy. Okay, 959, which is pretty much there. Okay, so if we go up first, selling down is not a bad idea into that at all. Okay, now if not this week, next week we will be selling. Okay, will it keep pushing up? I don't think there's much room. I think this double top might hold and we should pull down. Now let's see, 39,300 on there. Yeah, which is about here. So taking out the stops, keep 39,300 in mind. This zone is also okay for selling. If it takes out the stops, touches that, that would be awesome to push down. Also this zone, if it goes up, comes back in quickly, selling again is an option. So I'd rather be selling on this one since we're at the highs. Okay, so we're like up there, so selling down is not a bad idea. Nasdaq, probably we're going to do the same since the indices are mostly moving together. But remember, Nasdaq had a big fall. You see on Thursday, I did say be careful for Thursday on this one, as you can see. So Monday pushing up and then selling is not a bad idea either. On the weekly, as you can see, it's done that pin bar there. a little bit of pull up into where is a question. Into where is a question. So going into 64, 19,286, 19,286. Let's get rid of these. That's a target on your cards. All right, so now the daily's been done a little bit, but a push up is okay. Where to push up? Okay, so that's the impulse wave there. If I tighten this up a little bit, okay, so that's the impulse wave going into there. Okay, this is looking like a bit of a runner. If we get back up into the weekly pivot, it's still good. Okay, where else can we sell off? Let's do this. That's your breakout zone. So this is the cause. So if the market does come back into here, that's your cause. We'll take this zone here. Okay, so if the market does come up here, okay, selling is not a bad idea. The weekly is also okay. It might just do a sweep to close the gap. That gap is just here. All right, so if the market gets into the 50, the 37.5, we're good. Okay, and I don't think selling is a bad idea if it's a swing hour. Let's take a look at Bitcoin. Now with Bitcoin, as you know, I've been saying we should be going down. So last week as well, selling the highs was not a bad idea. I did say we should get into this zone, and this is where we're getting into right now. This is the box, as you can see. So we should push further down. Okay. Is this going to continue? In my opinion, it should continue. I've been talking about the gaps in the market, and sooner or later we need to fill them out. And I've drawn these in the weekly as well, as you can see. So having Bitcoin come all the way back down is, it's on the cards. And I think this zone is not a bad idea. So the market is probably coming back into that 50,000 zone. Okay. If you've taken technical analysis from me, we have these levels. They need to be filled out. Okay. So pushing it down, I think, is the logical way to go, and I've been telling you to do so. I said do not be buying around here because these are all sell levels, and then once the breakout happened, as you can see here as well, I did say you should just be selling on the push up going in the way down, and as you can see, this is now turning into a runner. Okay, so it's like pushing down. Okay, this zone is also a breakout zone. This should break, in my opinion. Maybe we'll get a little bit choppy here when the buyers are beginning to come in, but I wouldn't be a buyer with Bitcoin from these price levels. If you're going to buy and hold, okay, if you're going to buy and hold, I'd wait for a lower level. If you're trading it, then this zone obviously is going to be a place where the market may buy. So if you want to buy this to push up a little bit, when it comes up into a zone, sell off again, you can do that. It's not a problem. But I just wouldn't be buying here. All right, and we've got a breakout there as well. Now on the weekly too, remember I drew this line, so I said you should follow it at least to that line, which is fine. Okay, and now we're going to have a break downwards here. Now here, if you're using ATAM, you're just going to have to follow it nice and easy, aren't you? All right, so don't act rash, just draw your lines. So then you can manage the trade. So I think this has got room to come down. As you can see, we should be going into all the way down into that 45, 50 zone. All right, in there. And that's the pull, as you can see, back happening. So we should have an A, B, extended regular coming all the way down. That should give us an opportunity to go long. Closing the gaps as well is, it's pretty much what we want to be doing. All right, that's on the weekly, so that could be taking all summer for us. And if we have a few pushes like this, as you can see, it just takes a few weeks to bring us down. So that's basically it. Okay. What should you do if you want to sell it off? Well, you can sell off if we come back up to that 65,370 zone there to kind of push down. As you can see, this is the middle of that channel here. That's the channel top, channel bottom. We're in that mid-range. You can draw your Fibonacci's just like I showed you on the SP500 and follow down as well. So we should have like breakage. So if you draw your lines, then on the pullbacks, you need to just keep pushing down into those targets. And that's basically it. On the weekly, those levels are going to be far out. If it does come back for a good buy kiss, 66,700 should be on your cards. Another level might be 64,981. Okay, 64,981. Which is about there. So the weekly pivot can also be a place where you can sell off. Let's get rid of that and that. Okay.